Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into the London, Ontario real estate market today. Specifically, we're looking at August 2024.
A lot of our listeners are probably buyers or sellers or even investors based right here in London.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, let's face it, there's a ton of data out there,
Definitely a lot of charts and numbers.
and it can be tough to make sense of it all. That's why we go straight to the source, the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors.
Absolutely. Using their latest stats, we're going to help you extract the most valuable insights for your own real estate journey in London, Ontario.
The big picture for August 2024, what's going on?
Well, the first thing to notice is that overall sales activity is down.
Down compared to last year.
Yes, down year over year, but still significantly higher than what we saw before the pandemic boom.
Oh, interesting. So things are cooling a bit.
Exactly. The market's finding its balance.
What was the actual sales volume like in August 2024?
The dollar volume came in at just over $363 million.
363 million. Okay, and how does that compare?
Well, that's a decrease year over year, but actually, it's an 18% increase compared to August 2014.
Wow, so even with the cool down, things are way more active than they used to be.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. What about the big one? Median price, everybody wants to know.
The median price for all property types in August 2024 landed at $590,000.
590,000.
We're seeing a slight dip year over year,
There's always a but.
haha, when we look back to 2014,
Yeah.
it's a 148% increase.
So long term, things are still looking good. Now, for those of you playing the real estate game, one number we always look at is months of inventory.
Right. Super important metric.
What's happening there in London?
Currently, we're hovering around 3 months of inventory.
3 months.
This is a really key indicator, and it tells us that London's market is still tilted in favor of sellers.
Ah, okay. What's the benchmark for a balanced market?
A balanced market usually sits between 4 to 6 months of inventory.
So we're a bit below that.
We are. For buyers, this means you might still face competition.
Probably not as crazy as it was.
It's definitely not the frenzy we saw before. And for sellers, well, it's still a good time.
So properties are moving?
Yes, maybe not as quickly as at the peak, but there's definitely buyer demand.
Now, there's another number that's always interesting to look at. Median days on market.
Absolutely.
How long is it taking for homes to sell in London these days?
In August 2024, it was about 26 days on average.
26 days. Okay, so a bit longer than at the peak, but still pretty quick. What's happening with different types of properties? Single-family homes, townhouses, apartments, that kind of thing?
Each one has its own story to tell.
Okay, let's start with the classic, single-family homes. What did August 2024 look like?
We saw 449 sales. That's about a 6% decrease from last year.
So a slight dip.
Yeah.
What about prices, though?
The median price held strong, actually. $674,825.
Wow, that's impressive. Seems like demand for single-family homes is still high.
It is, and that's reflected in the months of inventory for that category. Just over 3 months. Still pretty competitive.
Okay, so single-family homes are holding steady. What about townhouses?
Now, with townhouses, we're seeing a more noticeable drop in sales, about 28% year over year.
28%, that's a big jump.
It is, but townhouses have seen a big price jump in recent years.
So maybe buyers are feeling the pinch a bit.
That's possible. The median price in August 2024 was $494,500. That's a substantial increase, like 180% higher compared to August 2014.
Wow. So maybe some buyers are looking at other options?
Could be. Or waiting to see if prices shift a bit.
Okay, makes sense. Now, what about the apartment market? What's the story there?
Apartments are interesting. Sales are down too.
Does that mean buyers might actually have more negotiating power in the apartment market?
Potentially. It's definitely something to consider. Now, let's take a quick look outside London for a minute. What's happening in St. Thomas?
Yeah, good idea. Always interesting to see how neighboring markets compare.
So first thing to note, St. Thomas's market is smaller than London's. We're talking about 57 sales in August 2024 compared to 385 in London.
Okay, much smaller. What about prices? How do those compare?
That's the other big difference. The median price for all property types in St. Thomas in August 2024 was $533,902, notably lower than London's $629,065.
So if affordability is a major concern, St. Thomas might be a more appealing option for buyers. What about inventory levels, though?
That's the catch. Prices might be lower, but inventory is tighter in St. Thomas, around 2 months in August 2024.
So even though it's a smaller market, there's still competition.
Definitely. Buyers need to be ready to move quickly.
It sounds like both London and St. Thomas have their pros and cons.
For sure, each market offers its own unique opportunities. Which one is the better fit really depends on your individual goals and priorities.
Right. Now, we've been talking a lot about median price, but there's another metric that can give us an even more accurate picture of price trends.
You're talking about the Home Price Index.
The HPI, exactly. Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. The Home Price Index tracks price changes for a very specific benchmark home in each property type. This helps us see long-term trends more clearly because it filters out those fluctuations that happen when the types of homes being sold change a lot. It's about comparing apples to apples, not just looking at the overall average.
Ah, okay, so it's like looking at the core of the market, not just the surface.
Exactly. It helps you see what's really going on with prices.
All right, so what are those benchmark prices for August 2024 in London?
Let's start with single-family homes. The benchmark price is $669,100.
What kind of home does that represent?
Think of a detached home built between 1951 and 1999. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and an attached single-width garage.
Okay, so your classic London family home. What about townhouses?
The benchmark price for a townhouse is $509,800. We're talking a row townhouse built between 1931 and 1950, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, attached single-width garage with a living area of 1,260 square feet.
So those benchmark prices give us a really solid reference point when we're trying to understand how prices are trending over time. I like to visualize things. When I see those descriptions, it helps me picture what we're actually talking about. Like a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom detached home in London. It's classic, it's spacious, it feels like home.
I completely agree. That's what makes the HPI so helpful. It takes those abstract numbers and puts them into a real-world context.
We've covered a lot of ground here. Sales activity, median prices, months of inventory. We even took a peek at St. Thomas. But here's the big question for our listeners. What does this all mean for you? What are the big takeaways?
The London real estate market is definitely in a state of transition. We're seeing a cool down from those peak years of 2021 and 2022, but it's important to remember that this is still a strong market, especially when you compare it to historical trends. We're moving towards more balance. For buyers, this means you have a bit more breathing room compared to the frenzy of the past couple of years. You can take your time to find the right property without feeling like you have to make a snap decision.
That sounds a lot less stressful.
Right. But don't get too comfortable. Good properties are still moving, just not at lightning speed. And for sellers, it's more important than ever to price your home strategically. Be realistic about what the market will bear.
No more pie-in-the-sky pricing.
Not if you want to sell in a reasonable time frame.
All right, makes sense. So it's all about being strategic and understanding the current market dynamics. Now, what about investors? What does this market mean for them?
London's still an attractive market for investors, especially if you're thinking long-term. The city has a diverse economy, the population is growing, and the rental market is strong. All signs point to continued appreciation in the future.
So even though things have cooled down, there's still potential for growth and return on investment.
Absolutely. The key right now is to be selective. Don't jump at every deal. Do your research, analyze those rental yields, really consider the long-term potential of a property.
Due diligence is key.
Always. Now, we know we've covered a lot of information, but we want to emphasize this. Knowledge is power in real estate. The more you understand about market trends, the better equipped you'll be to make decisions that support your goals.
And if you're feeling a little lost or overwhelmed, that's where Forest Hill Real Estate Distinction comes in.
That's right. We're here to help guide you through every step of the process, whether you're a first-time buyer or you're selling your 5th home, or even if you're a seasoned investor.
Our team of agents is really experienced, and they really know the local market.
They're also passionate about helping their clients achieve their real estate dreams.
So if you're looking for a partner you can trust to help you navigate the London real estate market, look no further than Forest Hill Real Estate Distinction. We're here to help you buy, sell, or invest with confidence.
You can visit our website at www.foresthilldistinction.com to learn more about our services and to connect with an agent.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll see you next time for another insightful look at the real estate market.